Hello, this is Tony Holland, founder and CEO of Global Premier Benefits. I want to talk to you guys today about a very important topic. I get a lot of questions. Tony, how's your sales process work? So I'm going to give you the 10 steps to our boot camp training program. It's been around for many, many years. I know even competitors have been using it. I get calls all the time, man, we love that stuff in your YouTube channel. So I'm going to give you guys a brief summary of that. But there's a whole full-length training process in regards to that. And first thing, you got to understand why we're in this business to begin with. It's about changing and saving that senior's life and their family and their grandchildren's lives. And you got to do it with passion. Guys, I'm going to just tell you up front, I tell people, I don't sell insurance. I sell love. I sell hope. I offer peace of mind to people that are going through a crisis in their life. And I want to be there on one of their worst moments in their life when they have to utilize, one of my insurance programs that I've put them in or help them with and help them understand. So I think it has to start with that. Do you have the passion? Do you have the love for people? If you're doing this just for a commission check, you're in the wrong business. Yes, the commissions and renewals are great, but you got to be in it for the right reason, about changing those and saving those seniors' lives. I mean, I treat them as my grandmother or my mom. I mean, matter of fact, when I walk in the door, I'm hugging them. And that leads into the first step into the 10-step boot camp training. Number one, you got to be selling you. What's the most important thing we've been taught in sales? You got to sell you. And that was the easy part, because I loved everybody. I didn't care what nationality they were, what religion they were. Shit, I remember I was the only agent back in the day who could sell in this Russian community back in Baltimore. And I just learned a few phrases before I worked there. They had all these leads, the company I was with, that nobody wanted to work them because they were all Russians. I'm like, I'm going to learn a little Russian to get in the door. So I learned things like Kogdala and da and yet and kushet. I learned a few words. They were like, wow, you know our language. And, I would get a translator. And now you got these translator apps. I think it's pretty cool with technology, but back in the day we didn't have that. So I would have one of their kids set in. But I found the way to make it happen. You got to sell you. You got to gain credibility. And I always told agents all the time, you got to look the part. I don't come in flashy, but you want to dress appropriately. You want to gain credibility by I wear a lanyard with my badge on, my ID badge, and on the back of it has my license. When I get into the presentation, after I get through the door, that to me, that's a no-brainer either. I always have a smile on my face. I always felt smiles are contagious. If you smile, generally they smile. Matter of fact, when I walk up the door, I'm waving at the house. As soon as I get out the car, I don't sit in the car in front of the house for 2 minutes organized. I come organized, ready to go. I pop out of the car with a smile and I wave at the house. And I found out they waved back at me. And it's amazing. I had a lady one time say, how did you see me through the door? I was looking at you because by the way, as soon as you come up to the house, they watching you. Their eyes, somebody's eyes are on you. So I always have a smile and I'll wave at the house. So make sure you have that ID badge on that give you credibility when you walk up to the house. If there's kids playing in the yard, go play with them for a little bit. They're throwing a football around, I'll throw it because I know I'm building a relationship with that family. Their grandkids are going to be like my kids. I'm going to love on them. You want to also, when you're giving your presentation, you want to show your license. Let them know you're legit. I always show, I don't care what state I'm working, they're going to see a copy of my state license. And I'll have extra copies for them if they want to have it. I'll give them the toll-free number. They can check me out. I want to gain that credibility right up in the beginning. And I also want to show them my AHIP license. If you're selling Medicare, you want to show them your license to show that you've been trained thoroughly. You're not a run-of-the-mill agent and just out there to hook and crook seniors and taking advantage of them, that you've actually passed a certification exam to talk to them about their Medicare. So that's part of my selling you phase, building rapport, finding common ground. Also, a key thing, what's on the wall? Write that down. Whatever's on the wall is most important to them. So, if they got pictures of, their religion, talk about that. A picture of their kids, talk about that. What they did for work, a platform, you want to talk about that, and you want to just become part of their household. If they're in the middle washing dishes, I get in and dry. Little things like that. It's about selling you and loving on your client. Ask them questions about them. So that's step number one. You got to be good at selling you. Step number two, you got to sell that card. Whatever lead card or whatever promotion they answer, you got to sell it. What I mean by that, you got to make sure that they know. I used to say this 5 times. I want to make them say 5 yes 5 times on that lead card to their date of birth, their address. I want to make sure they're up to speed. I also do this. You must do your freshen up letters. I don't care if that lead card is a week old or if it's 5 years ago. Freshen that up. These seniors get stuff in the mail all the time. And they plop those things in the mail and they forget about it. You call them 3 days later, they've forgotten already. So you want to make sure with all your clients, I stress this, I can't stress this enough. You want to double, quadruple your sales, send freshen up letters to all your leads. It brands you to the client. It refreshes what they mailed it in for. Make sure you have a copy of their signature card. Make sure you have a copy of the offer. So when you call them, it makes your job so much easier. And in my letter, mine has my name in there, how they can reach me, my cell phone number, my office number, who I am. I even include my license number so that way they know I'm legit. They can check me out before I make the phone call or before they call me. Step 3, you got to educate your client. Whatever that's about, whatever your lead card's about, whether it's final expense, hospital indemnity, Medicare, extra help, an SPAP program, whether it's veterans, diabetics, we have leads of all types. The next step 3, you got to bring your client up to speed on that topic. If it's about Medicare, you got to educate them on the parts of Medicare. If it's on extra help, help them understand the 4 parts of the extra help LIS program. You need to help them understand if it's diabetics and the different services provided to them by the American Diabetes Association at no cost to them, how they can get benefits there. So there's so much you can do in terms of educating your client. I always felt it's so much easier to enroll a client into a product. I don't say sell a client, enroll a client, help a client with a product when they're fully educated about the process. So you want to educate your client. Step 4, we talk about qualifying them. I do what's called a 60-second checkup. I ask them, basic questions about their Medicare, about their final expense, hospital indemnity, questions about cancer. There's cancer running in their family. When's the last time they've been in a hospital? I ask them basic questions so I can find out what they have done and what they have not done, what they're going to qualify for and what they're not. Then I go into a full needs analysis. I want to fill that gap in their coverage they currently have. If they don't have hospital indemnity, I want to be able to help them with that. So I'm going to do a full needs analysis in regards to all their benefits. I mean, you're a licensed agent. It's amazing how many agents walk out the door and don't do a needs analysis. They go out and push Medicare or go out and push a final expense, and they have, a wide array of product lines, and they don't talk about those things. They leave so much business on the table. And something I've learned going back to the days of State Farm, back in the good old days in the 20s, they taught bundling. You got to bundle. You should be averaging 3 to 6 enrollments of some type of program or product in every single household. Then we talk about, once we've done a needs analysis, we got to go through selling the company. If you're going to be pushing a specific company or endorsing a specific company, you got to make sure you go through the rates, what their rating is, their AM Best rating, go through what makes that company special. I mean, it's important they know. I mean, if you're representing a company that doesn't have an A rating or better, I highly advise you to find another company in that product line. I only promote companies at an AM Best rating of A minus, A or A plus. Those are only companies I promote in my company because I want to make sure if something happens to me or I leave and retire from the business, my customers can be taken care of by that company. There's a lot of companies out there that don't have A ratings. You need to make sure you check your company out in terms of the rating. Next, you want to make sure you explain the product and what it's going to do for your client. What it's going to do to fill their gaps, fulfill their needs that you have uncovered. What is it going to do for them? Okay? You got to understand insurance is an asset. It's not a liability. And you got to help the client understand on their worst day, this thing is going to come in and help them out. And then you got to enroll your client. Okay? Well, part of my process of explaining the product, enrolling my client, I never sell a client. If I do everything right in the beginning, it's easy to get that app out. All I do is ink the app. What I do and what I became known for is they call it the tear jerk close. I changed that. It's not the tear jerk close. It's now the reality close. I put them right there the day, that either they're going to be, put in the ground and don't have enough life insurance and burden their family, or put them in the day. They're laid up in a hospital fighting for their life with their family around the bed, praying for them to get through that crisis. I make it a reality. One thing's for sure, they're going to use their insurance. They may not use their car insurance. They may not use their homeowner's insurance, but definitely for sure, they're going to use that health insurance, and one day definitely going to use that life insurance. I got to make it that intangible asset into a tangible asset, if that makes sense. Because in their mind, some of these seniors out there don't get this. This is an asset. It's an asset for them, and it's an asset for their family. We're here to love on these people and understand the reality of not having the right kind of insurance or no insurance in place. Number 9 in my 10-step boot camp training, you got to get referrals. My minimum is 10 in every household. And the way I do it, I offer a free discount health program where they get vision, hearing, prescription drug, dental, a discount program at no charge. It's a free program. And also what I do, which is great, I also not only 10 referrals, one of them has to be a grassroots group, whether it's their church, their VFW, their American Legion, if they volunteer at a food bank, or they have a specific doctor they're in love with. I can go out there and talk to the provider. I'm always looking in every house, at least 10 referrals, one of them being a grassroots group. And you want to do this. When you do a grassroots, you got to have the client go with you. If they go to church, hey, I'm coming with you Sunday, Miss Judson. What time's your service? Because I want to talk to the pastor. I want to talk to the board, how we can help the entire organization. I do sessions on grassroots training. I can do a whole 2 hours on that, but it's pretty simple. To me, if you want to do, like in many cases, I've done as many as 80 enrollments in one day. I did that through a church. You got to be excellent in doing grassroots. And I do grassroots not just in my warm market, but I do it in the warm market of the seniors. I see it off each and every lead card. Even if they said no, even if they said I don't want anything, I still get referrals. I give away the discount health card. I help them with their friends, family, and relatives to give that away for free. Those are going to be additional sales for me. Help them with their final expense or Medicare or whatever product I have. Then I want to get their grassroots, their church, their club, their bowling club, their Masonics Lodge, whatever. I want to get whatever organization they're part of. And by the way, every one of your clients is involved in some type of grassroots organization. You need to ask permission to go out there with them on their next meeting or their next service and see if you can talk to the board about helping other people with this discount health card and your other service that you offer. And lastly, 10, you got to follow up. Number 10, or you're going to lose your client. Somebody else from one of those TV commercials out there going to take your client away. You got to send thank you cards, birthday cards, anniversary cards. You got to call. I call it the 6-touch method. You should be touching your clients 6 times every year with cards, a phone call. I used to call my clients up and wish them happy birthday, over the phone. I call and sing to them. I'm not the best singer in the world, but I can somewhat carry a tune. And if they didn't pick up, I just sang to them. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. They would love it. I mean, how many insurance? You got to be different than the average insurance agent in this business. And I'm going to tell you something. You do those type of things, thank you letters, birthday cards, you're singing to them, just checking on them, see how they're doing. It's more. This business got to be more than just making a sale. You're building relationships. You're building a bond. I'm going to tell you something. I was taught this by Art Williams. Friends don't quit on you. Family members don't quit on you. You want to build that kind of relationship. They think of you as a friend or family member in that household. And no matter what agent comes behind you or calls them from one of those TV commercials, they're going to stick with you. So follow-up is more important, that you're doing what's right by your client, because seniors will always remember the last thing you do for them. And they remember you just taking a check and taking an app and never hearing from you again. Somebody in 2-3 months is going to take that client away from you. You got to build the bond with them that won't break. So I want to thank you guys for letting me share you guys my 10 steps to our boot camp training. If you want to learn more, or talk to me directly. Probably one of the only IMOs out there that will do this, but I love helping people. I love paying it forward. I love changing people's lives. You can reach me anytime. I work better if you call me by text. You can text me at 443-253-3634. I will take phone calls, and I promise you I will get back to you. I don't care if I got 1,000 phone calls in a day. I've had it happen. I'm going to get back to every one within 24 hours. That's my commitment. I'm going to follow through on that. So I look forward to speaking to you guys very soon. Thank you guys for allowing me to share with you today, and may God continue to bless you. Thank you.